continue in Idaho for the trial against Chad Daybell, who's accused of murdering his first wife, Tammy Daybell, and his current wife's children, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan. Prosecutors allege that the defendant's desire for sex, money, and power in the pursuit of eliminating the souls who were to be believed to be zombies. This is very similar to the trial of his wife, Lori Daybell, as they both believed that the end of times was approaching. If convicted, Chad Daybell faces the death penalty. Remember, yesterday, the defense rested their case, and it followed with the state's rebuttal detective, Bruce Mattingly, who testified that he became involved in the investigation of Tammy Daybell's death. Now, this witness contacted the defendant's daughter, Emma Murray, about her mother's autopsy. The autopsy was performed on December 11th, 2019. Let's listen to the audio recording from February 18th, 2021.
I'm Bruce Mattingly with Fremont Sheriff's Office. And the sheriff said that you've been working at trying to get a hold of us.
Yes.
And to talk on the autopsy results. We've been trying to get a hold of you and other family members, but probably been a comedy of errors. We haven't been able to do so.
Okay.
And which is why we showed up here, because we'd like to be able to talk with family, because I know you were the one that made a request,
yes.
Right? So we'd like to be able to do that because you're here, we're here. Want to take a few minutes and talk about that and go over that?
Or?
Okay. Who is the attorney so we can contact?
So we've worked with Josh Garner before, but right now we don't have an attorney-client relationship with any particular attorney.
Okay. So
we decided we're gonna wait and learn what it is when you're ready to release it.
Okay. That is a choice, but we usually just let family. We always let family know. Personally, I've not had anybody really say that they want to wait. That's a little.
We're just not interested in interviewing, answering any questions. We just want to see it.
Sure. We'd like to at least let you know what's in it and tell you about it. We're not asking for an interview.
All right, you just heard Emma Murray declining to see the results despite requesting the autopsy results in the first place. Now let's listen to what this witness has to say about the recording in the direct examination, followed by cross.
Did you hear Emma again decline to see the results?
Yes.
And what did you tell her in relation to whether or not she would have to be subjected to an interview?
I told her she didn't have to do an interview.
Did Emma ever reach out to the Fremont County Sheriff's Office again in an attempt to get the results?
No.
When you met with Emma, did she tell you anything about concerns regarding her mother's health?
Judge, objection.
Oral. She did not.
At the very end of the recording, you say something along the lines of, I do want to let you know. What was that in regards to?
It's in regards to the findings from the autopsy results.
So you wanted to make sure that Emma Murray had access and knew the results of that autopsy?
Yes.
And again, Emma Murray declined to hear those results?
She did.
Okay. And at the time of the autopsy on December 11th, 2019, well, let me go back. On February 18, 2021, providing the family with the results, that wasn't any kind of an investigative concern, was it?
No.
Okay. And a month earlier, when you had the results, was there some sort of investigative concern with providing the family notification of why their mother was exhumed and an autopsy was done? Officer?
Yes.
What?
Would you repeat the question?
Yeah. The month before, while you held on to the autopsy, is there some investigative concern as to why you didn't let her know right away?
Yes.
And what was the investigative concern?
On whether or not we can release the autopsies, whether we can provide a copy,
Okay.
and how best to go about doing that without violating any rights or with the investigation going on.
All right, Catherine Lozaro is here with me. She's trial attorney. She's been following this case. This autopsy is a big deal here. Mattingly is explaining, look, first we did the autopsy, then we have to wait for the investigation to clear and to get the word to the family members. We can't just release the information. But prior, you heard him there on cross-examination, is trying to question the timing. How do you think the jury's feeling about that?
I think the jury will really look at his testimony and the recording that he made of Emma when he tried to tell her about the results very careful, because I feel that when I heard Emma's voice there, it sounded very calm, cool, and almost eerie. Your mother was just exhumed and they're trying to tell you what the results are, and you refuse to find out what that is. That is not a reasonable person would do after finding out that the results of your mom's autopsy is available, especially since she has been reaching out to the police to try to get that. So it raises a lot of question and credibility as to Emma when she testified. In an earlier clip, we also saw her reacting that way, meaning not much reaction as well whatsoever, talking about the death of her mother.
Exactly. You know, some people are asking online whether or not Chad Daybell had an opportunity to talk to his daughter, Emma. Do you think that he could have influenced her as far as that's concerned, if in fact they had conversations?
That's definitely a possibility. We should also keep in mind that the entire family of the Daybells, Emma, Garth, even Tammy, were also following what Chad's thinking were and Chad's belief about light and darkness. So it's not uncommon to think that, or it's not unreasonable to think that both the kids might have thought that Tammy is a dark spirit and Chad is the one who actually labels a person, whether they're light or dark. So if Chad says that your mother is a dark spirit, it's not unreasonable to think that the kids would align with him and try to protect them, unfortunately.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly what is going on as far as Emma and Garth are concerned. Even if you look at their demeanor on the stand, when Emma took the stand and when Garth took the stand, Emma particularly was, very, like you said on the recording, she was very calm. And obviously people react differently, but what do you think about how she performed on the stand and how she answered those questions, both on, the attorney prior asking her, frankly, it's his witness. He's trying to show that it wasn't a murder, but that in fact, Tammy died of natural causes.
Well, I think she also sounded similarly as with that recording while on the stand. So that confirms how she reacts, that was just not a one-time reaction during the recording. And when the jury actually see her right there next to them, looking emotionless and sounding without emotion, that raises a lot of questions to them as to her relationship with her mother and how much she's trying to protect her father, Chad Daybell, who has already influenced them severely with his philosophy, the alleged cult philosophy of the light and darkness, and why Tammy ended up being killed as charged here.
Exactly. It's a very sad situation. Tammy Daybell is gone and doesn't have a voice right now. And it does seem as though her children are aligning with their father. Okay, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're actually going to have more on the Massachusetts against Karen Read case. So stay with us.